Hey, what's happening? My name is Tuta Marengola and happy Friday. We have a lot to get into today. Obviously, the major headline over the last 10 days being the explosive Andre de Ruyter interview that got him fired from a job that he quit in December. Yeah, we can't accept your conduct. You are fired. No, I quit. Definitely quit. Right here. December 14, 2022, I fucking quit. Here's my signature. Here's your signature. And the skit doesn't work because the camera's overexposed. Now, I've watched the interview about 3 times, so you don't have to. And usually, I don't enjoy watching white people talk for that long unless I'm watching White Lotus. I never watched White Lotus. Let's get into it. It's Mzansi in 5. Okay, let's start off with Eastern Cape Judge President Selby Mbenenge, who has been requested by the civil society organization Judges Matter to step down from his position pending a sexual harassment case leveled against him by a former judge's clerk based in Makhanda High Court. Judges Matter coordinator Alison Tiley released a statement saying, "This is an extremely serious complaint and must have had an impact on the functioning of the division. Under the circumstances, we believe it would be appropriate for the judge president to step down until the complaint is resolved." Which makes sense, because Mbenenge is the subject of an investigation by the Judicial Conduct Committee, a subcommittee that deals with complaints against judges. The complaint was brought in December by the female clerk of Makhanda High Court Judge Avinash Govinji. Last week, the Sunday Times published screenshots of obscene WhatsApp messages allegedly sent by Mbenenge to the complainant. It was also reported that she had been redeployed to a different office. Okay, so if I worked at Pick n Pay and a coworker accused me of sexual harassment, I wouldn't be at Pick n Pay the next day. At best, I'd be suspended with pay until I was proven innocent. So with that said, we cannot be striving to combat gender-based violence in the form of sexual harassment, assault, and femicide if the people who are presiding over cases of sexual assault or harassment are accused of the very crimes they're meant to prosecute. That's like electing a billionaire as president with the assumption that they're going to love the country more than they love making money, and thus they won't have any corruption scandals. Oh, wait. Also, who's still using WhatsApp in 2023 to send explicit stuff with technology? If you want to send like an explicit photo, send it using an untrackable PO box. Print the photos in the slot. See how they track you down. Let's move on to our main story. Outgoing Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter sat down with Annika Larsen last week in an explosive interview that revealed a lot of the inner operational inefficiencies at Eskom that have led us to the current energy crisis the country is experiencing. Now, the stuff that de Ruyter spoke about, it wasn't surprising, it wasn't shocking, which is very scary, because we've become so desensitized to corruption that when we hear these things, our brains fail to comprehend the gravity of what we're currently going through. It's the equivalent to mass shootings in America. I can tell you right now that there was a mass shooting in America yesterday, and you'd be like, oh, wow, okay. And similar thing with us. We hear that 1 billion rands is stolen every month from Eskom. And we're like, yeah, okay.
My rough estimate of the amount of money that gets stolen in Eskom every month is in the region of R1 billion every month. And we've made some inroads.
And it shouldn't fucking be like that. Apart from revealing the vertical corruption that can easily be traced from the government to law enforcement down to state-owned utilities, de Ruyter also explained how easy it would be for South Africa to get out of our current energy crisis.
That you can solve energy security in the shortest possible time. The quickest energy that we can today deploy is wind and solar. We can remove the obstacles to growth so the economy can recover.
It's always baffling to me that in a country that has this much sun and this much wind, less than 10% of our power is generated from these natural resources. And according to de Ruyter, it's because there are literal coal syndicates who operate just like cartels, and they will assassinate anyone who tries to move the country forward away from coal dependency.
We know of at least 4 organized crime cartels operating in Mpumalanga in Eskom. Some of them also have interests in Transnet, and we see that in our inability to rail coal to Majuba Power Station, for example.
Yeah, coal. That thing that we all made fun of Donald Trump for wanting to bring back in America.
I am going to bring back coal. Coal? I'm not even exaggerating. I have never in my life even seen a fucking lump of coal. I honestly don't even know what coal is for.
The Ruyter also went on to describe his own assassination attempt last year when his coffee had been laced with cyanide and rat poison. He spoke about how no high-level law enforcement agencies ever investigated the case. No state security agency, no hawks. Instead, they had sent 2 middle-aged sergeants to take statements from him. Now, understand something. The CEO of our national utility gets poisoned. That is an attack on the state.
We went through the statement. I mentioned that my cyanide levels were elevated, as indicated by the blood tests, and the detective sergeant then inquired whether I had been experiencing problems with my sinuses. I then asked whether they knew what cyanide was, and they said, no, this is a technical medical term. They don't know anything about it.
He told them that his cyanide levels were high, and they thought he was talking about his sinuses. That's like intellectual heartburn. Also, another case for why our law enforcement personnel need to go to college. Now, the entire interview is about 55 minutes long. I would totally advise anyone to watch it or not, doesn't matter. And I applaud and tip my hat off to Mr. Ruyter. I hope you're not watching this, but instead, you're on a plane with your loved ones out of the country, because they will come back and finish the job. And who is they? It doesn't matter. What matters is that we have a spineless government filled with ineffectual politicians who care more about filling their own coffers. While across the country, children are studying in candlelight. Elderly people are living on ventilators, have to live on a prayer that the power doesn't go out because they're going to die. Billions of dollars in foreign investments leave the country on a weekly basis. But you know what though, kids? Petrol is going down by 2 cents next week. And finally, a man in Tulsa, Oklahoma has been arrested for a very baffling reason.
After allegedly robbing a Waffle House at gunpoint. But we're told that before that, he ate there, he paid for his meal, he even tipped his waitress. Tulsa police say it happened around noon Saturday. He has since been arrested by officers.
Well, that has been another episode of Thanos Was Right. Tim 5.